In this right way, we have our own chairman also. Now I am going to tell about a person who is a probationary officer, 1983 batch. Started her career from Manjakuppa. She took over as a BM at Vannur branch, and she was a trainer at SBLC Perambur, where she molded many leaders. Worked in various assignments dealing with shares in bonds, international banking, SME banks. General managers of performance and planning at corporate center, where she has to directly report to the chairman. Such a prestigious post. An expert in performance analysis, and she knows every different type of how to performance analysis of a profit and loss of the bank. Interested in reading, traveling and cooking, and a very great player of TT. And now she is leading our Chennai Circle Zone 1 as General Manager. Put your hands together for Madam Geeta, General Manager, SBI. Now I request our beloved General Secretary, Comrade Thomas Franco sir, to present a memento as a gift of token and love and affection to our General Manager, Madam. Now I request our chief guest to deliver the special address on this Women's Day.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to be part of this celebrations of the International Women's Day 2015. I must indeed thank at the outset the SBIOA President, Mr. A. Krishnan, and General Secretary, Mr. D. Thomas Franco, for having invited me on this occasion and having given me a chance to meet Ms. Vaigay, our Vaigay Senior Advocate in Madras High Court, and Dr. K. Kalpana, Professor of IIT Madras, who are also part of today's celebrations. Now, before I start, I think I would reflect to what Mr. Krishnan said. Years ago, when I joined the bank in '83 and I got confirmed in 1985, and my first posting was Saidapet branch. And when I was requesting them, that I wanted to be posted in my hometown because I had a child of 3 years old. Now you have a child, tomorrow you'll have some problem. Every time you have a problem, this is what I was told. That is why we don't want lady employees or lady officers. We've come a very long way, my dear friends, let me tell you. You do not understand what are the facilities which are available to you today, which was not available to us then. I was asked to give it in writing, saying you have in your entire career only 2 options when you can say, I want a posting of my choice. I said, fine, I will take it. I want to be posted in Pondicherry because I come from Pondicherry and I wanted to be close to my son. And 3 years old is not a time to leave your child. We all know that. So again, HRD, they told me, think again, think twice, and never again you will get this. I said, fine, whatever happens in the future happens. And then of course after that, right through, Chennai has not at all been kind to the lady employees or the lady officers. I'm afraid I have to put it in perspective. I stand here before you after a whole lot of, obstacles which I had. And I was told, go to the association and ask them for their help, which I did. With my 2 and 3, I did not even have a posting, let me tell you. Because both sides, the management finally gave me a posting. We just didn't know who to approach. Today, the association is far more approachable, far more genial, far more accommodating. And let me tell you, to have a lady representative makes all the difference. Now, you can't go and tell, with due respect, certain things to them, why we don't want to be shifted. And I think, Shanti, wherever you are, you better remember that you have a very big role to play in both sides. You have to safeguard the honor of the officers as well as the personal problems of your staff, lady staff. Because that is the reason you're there. And all the 2 of you also, you're from the zones, I'm told. So we have come a very long way. And for that, I must say the association has taken it in its stride that things change. They too have to change. Now what I prepared, I'll come back. I will come back to you, Mr. Krishnan, about your transfer also. I have answers for that. Okay, when I saw that my address was on the practical experience of a women banker, I realized here's an excellent opportunity to share with you all my, what is there in my way back in my memory lane and the beginnings of my journey in SBI. Before I begin, I just want to reiterate two things. I am proud to be a woman. And I am humble about having become a general manager in this mighty organization. Because to become a general manager, you need a lot of support and encouragement from your fellow officers, your bosses, and not to mention your family members. So it's a long journey, a journey which can be done, and a journey which many of you will accomplish much faster than I have done with much less obstacles. But that you must remember, along with whatever success comes to you, you also have a responsibility to take care of the younger ladies who are coming up, because you remember that is a mightier role, because the society itself is changing. Well, there are two things which any woman needs in today's environment. One is education, the other is economic independence. I think all of you will agree with this. Thanks to the vision of my father, I was able to go to Lawrence School, Lovedale, but only as a scholarship student. I come from a very middle class family, and despite it, my father took pains to send me there, which is the best gift that he could have ever given me in my life. And Lawrence School instilled in me at a very tender age of 11. I was 11 when I went to the boarding school. Life is not easy, but one does not give up. I want all ladies to remember this. Half the time we are saying, I don't have this, I don't have that, I want this, if only, if only. Please remember, there are so many of us with so many problems. It does not matter. All it matters is you should never give in. You face one setback, doesn't matter. You pick yourself up and move ahead in life, because life has so many beautiful things to give you. So there's no point in feeling sad when we have lost something or somewhere along the way. I appeared in 1982 for the probationary officer's exam, as you just heard. And after the exam, my son was barely 2 years old. In Chennai. I had come from Pondicherry to Chennai, and he was kept outside while I wrote the exam. So as soon as I finished the exam, he came running, to meet me. And let me share with you the comments of the people who left the hall behind me. I will quote verbatim in Tamil. Idalla exam ezhudha varudappa. I said, I felt so bad. Imagine. After 35 years, if it's the same situation, 33 years, whatever, I felt so bad, and I was thinking, why did I, want to write this exam? Well, anyway, I wrote it. Well, I got through the exam. Then another dilemma started. The family member said, no way, because this job is transferable. You are not going for this job. You have everything under the sun. I don't understand why you want to go for this job. So many things. And I almost made up my mind, I will not accept this. It doesn't matter. I had a son who was also frequently in and out of hospital. So they said, more than his welfare, you need this. Another thing we ladies should remember is, guilt is emotional. Guilt is something people will keep on putting on us. So please remember, if you also want to take it, then there's no way you're going to come out of it. But life, you can only climb one step at a time. Then you will learn how to cope. In those days, I could not cope. So I told my doctor who was taking care of my son that I'm not accepting the job. She gave me such a blasting. Today I don't even know where she is, but she told me, even 24 hours if you sit next to your son, believe me, if something is to happen, it will happen. How stupidity, she said, that you won't accept this job because of your son. And she's the one who egged me, and then I joined. So there you are. That is one thing I thought I should share with you. So there are so many milestones as we move in the bank. I'll only recount a few. has he mentioned that rural branch. Sir, this is to put it in perspective. I never asked anybody for any change. They said you go there. I said fine, I'll go there. But then my background is not a rural background, you know. So then they said all these cows which were given under IRPP, they said you better to, find out whether they've been really given or not. So I said tomorrow I will inspect all the cows. I know, inexperience, comes out in many ways. So they said, very good, madam, we will bring the cows to your office. You don't have to come. That also I said, fine. Who wanted to go in the hot sun? I said, fine. You bring the cows. So they brought. So I sat there. So one by one, they brought. The first cow was half brown and half white. I said, okay. Then they brought the next cow. The next cow was also half blue. I was wondering, then initially I'm such a fool. I thought all cows in this place are all half brown. No, you're laughing. I felt such a fool that day. I didn't know. Then anyway, after that, third cow, fourth cow, so what is happening? And then I realized I'm being taken for a ride. There's nothing I could do, because sitting over there. So anyway, I ticked all the cows. I said, all of you get lost. You go. Now, next day, what I did, after a couple of days, I went to the village at 6 o'clock in the morning. I said, now let me see. What are the cows which come for milking? You have the same cow? So once I told them, okay, I am inexperienced, I am not from the rural area, but I mean business. You can believe it. And amma yamata mudiyadi nera sollittu vandidunnaanga. That is how you learn. I want you to learn. And how, when in this IRDP we were taking those cows when financing, we had to approve, so I called the veterinary doctor.